43. War Day 6. Sanity, what's that? I intended to go to my main villain lair, but I found myself back in my second lair. How did I end up here? I looked around and my eyes set on a shadow figure in the corner of the room. Me. Sharp inhale. Not again. Please no, not here. I closed my eyes and began counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 21, 42, 63, 84, 95, 100. I slowly opened my eyes and the shadow figure was gone. I then went to the middle of the room. If you really want to be a hero, then why don't you take a swan dive of the roof and hope for a quirk in your next life? Why didn't you jump? A tear escaped fell down my cheek. I don't believe a quirkless person can be a hero. Even the #1 hero said it. It must be true. Useless. Die. Waste of space. Die. Me. Whisper shouting, SSS stop. I was now completely crying, not able to hold my tears back. Disgusting. Die. Me. Whisper shouting, please. Deku. Die. Me. Just stop. I didn't do anything wrong. Worthless. Die. Me. Stop please. Stupid. Die. Bastard. Die. Bastard. Die. Quirkless disappointment. Do us all a favor and just die already. Death. Me. Stop already. I get it. I don't deserve to be here. The voice however didn't stop, they kept repeating the same words, again and again and again. I went to the table and used it to hold myself onto. All of a sudden, I became dizzy. My head hurt and I was angry. Angry at my parent, angry at the teacher, angry at my classmates, angry at the world and angry at myself for being so useless. Not knowing how to deal with the anger rising in me, I took the table with both of my hands and flipped it screaming at it. Me. Enough already. From the corner of my eyes I saw some shadow figure approaching me. They were laughing at me. I felt like I was losing my mind. And in the next moment I laughed not knowing why. I just did. Me. Ha. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. After my little outburst, I ran out of my second lair leaving all the voices behind me and ran straight to the hero's headquarters. No one was there besides Denki still laying unconscious on the ground where I put him. I ignored him for the time being. Now, where are the heroes? Where are my little playmates, my toys? I quickly made my way to the rooftop. I jumped from roof to roof and went to one of the burning buildings. The heroes were still there. I stepped to the edge of the building. I didn't even warn them nor did I shout anything out at them. Instead, I grabbed my blood grenade and threw it right at the two heroes. Aoyama and Shinso were the victims. I was laughing hysterically by no. Third paw. Usagi was standing on the roof throwing all the blood grenades he had with him on the two heroes. Unbeknown to him, his eyes had a red touch besides his toxic emerald green. He lost himself completely and was now after the people who hurt him. His classmates were no different. They had betrayed his trust and hurt him emotionally to the point where he almost broke down. Now he had the chance for revenge and that was all Usagi could think of for now. Shinso and Aoyama didn't see Izuku nor did they thought that he would be there. The young hero that was currently playing as the villain in the game gave off an alluring aura, bloodthirsty to say the least. Both hero in training felt the aura and were looking around until the first grenade exploded with a loud splash and they were covered in blood. Next thing they know they heard someone laugh. Shinso wasn't stupid. One blood grenade later and he was already taking cover. He knew that Izuku was dangerous but this felt different. He watched how Midoriya simply jumped down a third-story building and rolling on the ground. He watched him and saw the red in his eyes. This was not the cinnamon roll he knew. It wasn't his dear best friend that once helped him overcome his trauma together with his dad's. Midoriya was different and it scared him. He didn't know what was wrong with the ball of sunshine. The aura he felt scared him to say the least and as Shinso looked around he saw that all the civilians were dead on the ground. Hitoshi was lost in his mind and didn't pay enough attention to see Izuku shooting all his bullets at the robots. One by one, they fell down. As soon as no civilian robot was alive anymore, he could hear Izuku laugh again. This time it had a villainous touch to it. He watched Izuku make his way to Aoyama, and that's when he knew that he couldn't do anything here. Hitoshi tried to reach out for help, but no response came. He began freaking out. There was only one option for him, and that was to go and get back up. Hitoshi made his decision and ran. Aoyama was petrified and frozen in place. He saw Izuku getting near him, and he saw the look in his eyes. It was something he never saw before. Izuku Pav. After I killed everyone, I went to the only hero close to me, Aoyama. I wanted to cut him to see him bleed, and so I took out my daggers and ran at him. The hero just stood there. How naive. Haha. I tried to cut him but saw only a red line. This won't work. Hand-to-hand combat it is. I put the daggers away and punched him in the stomach. His eyes widened and he began shacking. It felt good for once. It felt good to see him suffer. He curled up protectively into a human ball of some sort, but that didn't stop me from hitting him. Defend yourself. This is getting boring. To my disappointment Aoyama didn't move, so I grabbed him by his hair and pulled him up, only to throw him to the next wall with as much force as I could. He hit the wall and a crack could be heard. I went to the boy's side and began hitting him again, breaking some of his ribs in the process. This ended way too soon. What a disappointment. This was no fun. Soon I realized that he was unconscious and stepped back to see my work. The moment I was some feet away from him, I realized what I just did. My eyes went wide and tears were rolling down my cheek. What have I done? I slowly approached the injured body until I felt something wrap around me. I looked down and saw that it was a gray scarf, a capture weapon. Looking around, I saw Aizawa standing there with Shinso. Me, whispering, I don't, KK no. WWY. IDD did it. Aizawa. It's okay Midoriya. He looked at Shinso and gestured him to go and check Aoyama. Shinso getting the hint and ran past me to Aoyama. Me, whispering, I couldn't. Kokon control. Myself. Aizawa. I know, problem child, I know. I didn't struggle at all, I was lost. I couldn't believe that moments ago I was willingly to kill someone in order to get my revenge. Aizawa must have seen me as he came close to me and released me from his scarf. The moment I felt myself get free, I looked at him. He looked so sad, and then I turned around and saw Shinso in his eyes. Hitoshi looked scared of me and yet sad at the same time. You don't deserve friends. Me, whispering, that's not true. No, Shinso was there when you attacked Aoyama. You were ready to attack your so-called best friend too. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to answer the voice in my head, but it pained me to know that it was true. I bit the bottom of my lip until I could taste blood and looked down at the ground. Me. I am sorry. Then I ran. I heard Aizawa shouting but couldn't hear what he was saying. I just ran. I wanted to be alone. I didn't wanted to hurt anyone else anymore. I couldn't take it. It would break my heart to lose myself again. I entered the closest tunnel and ran through the underground tunnels without any destinations. Soon I found myself in a room. It was dark and cold. I went to a corner and sat down. Murderer. Useless. Disgusting. Swan dive. Die. Quirkless. Abomination. Bastard. Waste of space. I curled myself up into a ball and leaned to the wall. It was cold and I was crying. It was getting harder to breathe. I didn't know how long I was in there alone. I didn't even hear anyone enter the room nor going to my side, and yet I felt a hand on my head. I looked up and saw Aizawa crouching beside me. I flinched but couldn't move back. Aizawa. It's okay. Aizawa. I won't hurt you. Now breathe with me, okay? I looked at him and after a while I nodded my head a little bit. Aizawa. Good now, in, and out. In, and out. You are doing good Izuku, in, and out. I felt myself calm down. After 5 more minutes, I could breathe again. It wasn't normally but shaky, however it was still breathing. I was still crying. Me. I didn't wanted to hurt him. Aizawa. I know that problem child. I know. You are a good child. Me. I am not. Aizawa wanted to say something but I interrupted him before he could say a word. Me. They were right, I am broken I am just a stupid useless waste of space. An abomination to nature a literal deku. Nobody ever wanted me. The last part one shouted at my teacher. I was shaking like a leaf. I felt horrible at what I did to Aoyama and nothing he says to me could stop it. An emptiness was spreading through my entire body. Me. Am I losing my mind? I didn't realize that I lowered my head back down into my arms. After I asked that, I slowly lifted my head up and in the next moment, Aizawa was pulling me into a hug. Aizawa. No, you are not. Don't say something like this, Izu. There are always people who care for you. Me, whispering, who would? I am alone. Aizawa. What is with me, problem child? I would. I care for you as if you were my own son. Me. Even after what I did. Aizawa. What you did wasn't something you could control. Don't blame yourself for something you couldn't stop. I am right here. I won't leave you, problem child. I was still in his arms and he was hugging me even tighter. All the energy that I had in me was now gone. I was tired and felt comfortable in his arms. No one ever showed me this type of kindness and it felt good. I was slowly falling asleep. Third point of view. Izuku soon fell asleep in Aizawa's arms. The teacher didn't move for a good while. Aizawa didn't wanted to wake his problem child after the panic attack he had. He made sure that Midoriya was fast asleep before he took the greenette and placed his scarf around him. Shota was carrying Izuku back to the main villain lair and put him into his sleeping bag. He then took the sleeping bag close to him and set himself to the wall. Aizawa was leaning against the wall with Izuku head on his lap. The tired underground hero looked at Izuku and felt sadness after what he heard the green bean say about himself. The sleep-deprived hero wanted nothing more in that moment than to comfort his child and to protect him. Shota Aizawa promised himself he would help his problem child get over it. He would be the one caring for his child, his own fluff of sunshine.